I've been building a lot with the rent pack and I've been living in rental units a bunch, but I don't ever play as a landlord. Obviously, I tested it and used it a bit when the pack first came out, but I haven't really used it since. But everybody paid like $40 for this pack, so we are gonna get the most out of your money. I wanna give you the tools that you need to play as a landlord the next time you give it a try. And I think one of the biggest hurdles for me is just that being a landlord is really expensive, and I mostly play in my Legacy Challenge saves or like in a rags to riches style game. And Stanley Humphrey usually can't afford to buy a house for himself, let alone one to rent out to other people. So I just don't really think about it, and I'm wondering if we could try to make a relatively cheap multi-unit lot. He has 20K right now. I might give us a little bit more money than that, but I kind of want to try and build some sort of duplex. And my vision for this is like a single standalone building, but each floor is a separate unit. And you see this kind of thing a lot in real life where they maybe have a shared front door, and then there's like a downstairs unit like this and an upstairs unit somehow up there. And it looks kind of like a single family home from the outside, but it's actually split into 2 apartments. I like the vibes of that. So I think I want to try to recreate something like that. Honestly, this style of house, these sort of like shotgun houses that you see a lot in Willow Creek, it's actually very common to see those as duplexes in real life. You can see how this house has 2 front doors. These are like 2 very skinny units. This house in Willow Creek next to the Pancakes family is also kind of like that. It even has the 2 front doors on the outside, and this is obviously a single family home in the game, but you could very easily swap this into a duplex. I like the idea of maybe it used to be a duplex and then it got renovated or something. Also, are those windows uneven? Oh my god. Oh no, 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 no. That is extremely upsetting. I have never noticed that before. Now, I've made videos renovating this. I must have seen it and just forgotten, but this house... That is such a nightmare. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that and just do my own build for a second. We can revisit that one later. How do they always manage to mess up their own build so bad? Like, how are the windows not even? Okay, let's think this through because I don't really know how I want this house to be yet. I love the idea of a little front door, and I think for the most part, I want it to just be kind of long and skinny like this. I'm also definitely gonna have it laid out kind of like we talked about, just like this. These are both really small units, but they're not that bad. So we can definitely make this work. And they just have little front doors kind of like that. I really like the idea of having some sort of pretty little bay window thing like this. I think that would be lovely in each of the apartments. I think in this case, something really simple with the roof is okay and like maybe even a good thing. I had originally just done it. Oh no, I don't, never mind. I put it this direction first and that looks better. Oh, maybe they should have back balconies. That would actually be really nice if they each had a balcony. And I think I'll put a little chimney too, just so it's like a little bit less plain on the outside. I'm kind of wondering now if I should have made the whole place a little bit skinnier even. This will make the floor plan significantly more complicated to do, but I usually like it a little bit better when they're smaller like that. I really think the vibes are just better when it's tiny. That does give us some kind of weird shapes. Like this part is really strange. And the chimney's in a bad spot. I feel like I should scoot it over. I can't decide where. Maybe I'll scoot it back a little bit, because if it's scooted back, we can steal that space upstairs. Okay, I think that's my exterior layout. It's very long and skinny, and that's kind of weird. It would also almost definitely fit on this lot, but that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about that. For the floor plans on the inside, this downstairs unit is a lot bigger because I put some extra space down there. I think I'll make this into the living room. I'm having this vision of like maybe a couch right here. We can put the TV kind of like this. I guess we could do like a small table in the nook. We do need to figure out a location for a bathroom, which I have not really thought through. It could be like a small Jack and Jill kind of bathroom. I didn't realize how small this place was. Okay, this is looking a little bit weird, but just hear me out. What if we put the bathroom door kind of like right there? We have, oh, never mind. I was gonna say we could have the bedroom doors here, but where does the kitchen go then? It doesn't. Maybe it is just a 1-bedroom house then. We could make a bigger bathroom. It is kind of a weird shape, but I think that's a little bit fun. And then maybe we shrink this room a little bit and the kitchen kind of gets tucked away in this nook. Something like that. It is extremely weird vibes, but hopefully in a good way. I don't know. So that's the downstairs unit. Upstairs, I think my first thought was to like split this up and we'll have the bathroom and the bedroom in the back again, kind of like this. And then this whole thing becomes the kitchen, living, dining room area. I guess the cabinets might just go along that back wall. Oh, this is so bad. I know I made it small and that was like my fault, but I don't think I realized that I was making it this small when I did it. You know what else I haven't done is pay for literally anything important yet. So this will be interesting, but I think that this is probably the best that we can do. I'm gonna get a nice roof texture. Oh no, that does make it clip over there, so that's sad. And we'll pick some nice simple windows. Oh, you know what else I can do is delete the underside of the stairs. That saves us so much money. They're hidden anyway, so there's no need to have that. Deleting that staircase just paid for our front door. Invalid diagonal intersection. Oh my god. Oh, I also didn't realize just how small I made this front porch by accident, so I may have to extend that outwards too. Now that I'm looking at it, it's really tiny. I'm kind of accidentally making this base game, which I didn't really mean to do, but it's actually turning out kind of nice. Well, aside from these doors. Those doors are from growing together. Okay, as I'm looking at this, I'm not really feeling super confident about the window choices, but I'm gonna keep going and just see how it works. Of course, those doors do not match, because why would it be the same colors? That would just make too much sense. And I've always hated this too. Look at this. Those windows are the same swatches on the outside, but on the inside, that one's all brown and those have white trim. Why? I don't know. The Sims 4 is just gonna be The Sims 4. Oh, I do like this dark wood color though. I think that's really nice. It makes it look kind of old, which is the vibes that I'm going for. I kind of want it to be like old renovated house energy. Well, I guess this unit is gonna have a back porch that can actually access the backyard and the upstairs isn't because there's no space for it, but that's okay. If we use that little door, that one technically matches better. I just hate how it's so short. It's always bothered me so much how it's like not full height on the wall. I know I'm kind of overthinking that, but it really, really does bother me. It's only 175. This one is like 400. So if we're trying to do this on a budget, I probably should use that. All right, well now I'm going through and putting in some of the last minute like necessities into the house. I'm realizing very quickly that we cannot afford for this house to be how it is. How much is the rug from the rent pack? 130? Okay, I could probably use that in at least one of the apartments. This also gives us a color scheme to work with, which is helpful. Oh no, it's gonna end up being a blue Suburban. I don't want it to be, but it always ends up being that. Even if I try really hard for it to not be, when you're doing a base game or like a limited pack build, it all comes back to the Suburban every single time. Maybe these people have no TV. Oh my god, we also don't have, I didn't even think about this. We don't have a stove in either of them. Oh no. Those kind of work together. It's blue suburbia again, but at least it kind of matches. Okay, unfortunately, we cannot afford wallpaper, I don't think. I will change it. I just want to put a placeholder and see if we can even actually afford to put wallpaper. And it looks like we can. Wallpaper and nothing else. I'm actually going to try and make the kitchen a bit smaller. I know this sucks, but it's not that unrealistic for a tiny house. And that saves us a little bit more money too. That potentially layered 2 cabinets. Yeah, okay. We got some more money then. There are things that could be done. For example, I could remove part of the stairs, but it's only 96 and it looks kind of cool that it's double wide. I'm honestly feeling really torn right now between committing to the starter thing and like trying to make it look cuter than this, but I feel like we're so close to it being a starter home that I should really just commit to it. I am using a little bit of growing together and the 4 rent pack in this, but I don't think that's bad. Growing together will open up some more possibilities, and no one said it had to be base game. That just sort of happened by accident. Oh, here's a sad secret. When I was first doing the builds for growing together, this table, originally the placeholder price was 60 simoleons. They ended up raising it to 175, but I was kind of sad about that because that was a nice price. That's only 60 for a cute little cabinet, which might be nice for us to have. These little plants are only 90. And I can't really afford much in these units, so it might be nice to have like a big set of plants. This person can be like a plant lover. Oh, maybe I'll give them the plant rug. Okay, hold on. I think we just kind of unlocked some potential here. This is gonna be way better now. I know you were probably getting kind of scared looking at the placeholder furniture and thinking like, oh God, Kayla, what are you doing? But I swear I had a vision, okay? Oh, the vision's a fail. I can't afford, I can't afford to buy anything else. Okay, maybe I delete one of those cabinets. This is really sad. That's not really what I was picturing when I was first starting to build this, but it happens. I guess if I delete that wall, that actually saves us some money as well. This shower is 375. The tub is only 350. So we could give them a tub instead. Those chairs that I was just using are probably the cheapest that we can do. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I should use some other packs just for the sake of money. What else do I need to buy upstairs? I guess we don't have a kitchen sink up here yet. so I probably should get one of those. That coffee table is 60. Are there any cheaper ones? That's 45. Okay. It feels really dark in here, so I feel like I need another light, but that's 50 extra simoleons. And we don't have 50 extra simoleons. You know what? These windows, it may have to be just one. I'm really sorry to say it. I don't love how that looks, but every little bit counts right now. They may have to have no computer. I wanted to do it. I really did, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It's 800. Wouldn't it be a big improvement to have like 3 windows stacked right there? Because that gives us some more light in the living space. Okay. These are plastic chairs, which I know some of you are going to hate, but they are from the rent pack, so that kind of saves us the pack limitations rule. And they don't look terrible. I think they're honestly kind of cute. Well, it's a real good thing that no chairs match this swatch of the couch. There's literally nothing that we can use that matches that. I think those 2 things are waste of money. Okay, hold on. I'm not really obsessed with that rug either. I'm considering instead the plant wallpaper. This is expensive. It's gonna cost us 162 simoleons. One might say that that's a bad idea because we don't have 162 simoleons to spare. But when you think about it, we're not paying for like a rug because we have this nice busy wallpaper. So actually, when you think about it, we're saving money. Oh my God. That might be the best that we can do for this price point. Let me think about the upstairs for a second now, because up here, we have way less money left over. I've spent too much downstairs. I think up here, we may unfortunately have to commit to the blue color scheme. We could do like navy blue and cream, which actually in game becomes navy blue and beige, but that's okay. This rug is 235. The problem is that it's the exact right color scheme. Okay, those chairs are 85. Oh my God. Okay, we have to do the boring chairs, unfortunately. I'm gonna put the linoleum tile because I think that that helps to split up the space a bit more. That's our full 20K budget. I'm trying to think what could be done to like limit this, and we could get rid of balconies. I don't really want to get rid of balconies, so maybe we do like 22K as our budget, because there's a few things that I've been wanting to add that I couldn't, like for example, stair railings. We also have no trash can outside, so that would be a nice thing to add in. It would probably be nice to have trash cans inside, you know, just a thought. I might also like to have some decor. Oh, we can do a little bookshelf. You can't have a TV, but you can have books. Hope that helps. Oh my God, it's the same bed twice. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Maybe I'll do the gray one. We are allowed to use the rent pack, obviously, because the rent pack is a necessity to building a rental unit. So we could potentially put some of these for rent items in here. Because now that I think about it, this is 40. This plant's only like 65, and that's a way better plant. Oh, this one's only 25. Oh, that's really good. What if I size this up? That's so ugly. This room is so sad. I'm realizing that I could probably afford to get a TV in this unit too, which might be a nice touch. There's a couple things like this curated corkboard. That's kind of expensive, but do you think that's nice to have like in the downstairs hallway? I would also very much like to have at least one light outside on the front porch, and we can't put anything on the balconies. We're out of money for the balconies. I have 159 simoleons left. I'm gonna break out the debug landscaping now and see what we can do to save this. There are some things like these little debug plant pots that might be perfect to put on the front porch, because then it looks like we've got something going on up here. We can put one in the back too. Maybe these downstairs sims have like a little floral thing. I can't believe I really thought that I was gonna have a backyard. When I was starting to build this, I was like, oh, I'll put like a cute shared backyard for them. Where did you get that idea, Kayla? Honestly, why do you think you can have a backyard? We can barely afford to have a bathroom in this house for these sims, and I think I'm gonna have a backyard. Okay. Unfortunately, this is gonna have some like blue suburban energy because I'm gonna use these blue plants, but it's not blue suburban. It's like brown suburban with blue accent colors. We also thankfully have some debug trees that I can kind of fill in with. There's debug oak trees too, but I feel like something about this one kind of looks weird. Does that make sense when I say it? I do prefer the idea of the oak trees just because they're bigger, so they fill up more of the space. I want it to look like it blends into the environment a little bit more. Oh, maybe we could have a parking lot, because imagine if I like, hold on, I have to size this down. I scooted the whole lot back just like the tiniest little bit because I have this vision of maybe we could build out some sort of fake little little parking lot because I can put some debug cars in there. And maybe parking lot is like a bad way of putting it because it's more like a driveway, a shared driveway between the two of them. But that might be kind of nice for us to have. I want to put like a fence or something. If I size that down, does it fit two of them exactly, or it's gonna clip, isn't it? Yikes. Okay, hate clipping. Don't do that. Oh, this is already an extremely small little wall. Oh, it wants to jump up to the wrong height. Oh my God. Maybe I will just put some plants there, like just some landscaping, and then we call it a day. I've never seen these before. We must have always had these and I just didn't realize, but that's kind of nice. Okay, I put this tiny little wall. It's a debug wall in the back. I don't know if it looks that good, and it is kind of clipping in a little spot, but I feel like that helps with the outside. Annoyingly, we cannot afford to do any other stone on this outside space. I would really like to, like really like to, but we are completely out of money. Unless we cheated for money a little bit more, but I feel like cheating for money to put like a different concrete that looks the same but just has a couple lines in it is a really wacky thing to do. Although I guess with that tiny little extra bit of money, there are a couple things that we can do inside. I would really like to have that extra chair over here, and I'd also like to have mirrors in the bathrooms. I think I only had one downstairs. Maybe we could do a couple full-length mirrors. Oh my God, why is that so expensive? This one is like objectively better and it's cheaper, so whatever, I guess I'll use that. But we could do some full-length mirrors in the bedrooms too, and maybe like a little tiny plant in the hallway. It needs something because these little hallways are very sad looking right now. Maybe a little rug too, I don't know. 78 simoleons. What does a person do with their extra 78 simoleons? Probably just leave it. Okay, I think this is actually pretty decent. It's never just a starter home when you do these sorts of things. There's always a little bit of extra money. But you know what? This actually is really helpful for playing as a landlord, because if you wanted to, you could live here. So like with your Sims starter home funds and a little bit of extra money, you're able to buy this and live in it and then rent out the second floor unit. And then you can slowly upgrade your own space. Or if you wanted to, you could like move out and rent out the rest of it to somebody else. They're not the nicest of units, but like, do they have to be? They're functional. I'm gonna swap this quick into a residential rental, and I'm gonna assign the units. So we have number 1 downstairs, and then we have number 2 upstairs. Both very tiny, but both very cute. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna stick it on the gallery. I'm gonna call it Willow Creek Duplex, I think. I just spelled my own name wrong. Okay, I'm gonna upload it to the gallery now. I always feel bad when I put fake cars in my builds because I feel like people are gonna see that and be like, oh my God, The Sims 4 got cars? No, they're fake. They're not real. They don't do anything, but hopefully you still think it's cute. And I think on that note, I'm gonna end this video right here. Let me know if you end up playing in this lot. I know I used a couple of packs, but it's not the worst thing. It's only 3. What is that? High school years. Oh my God. I fully thought that was a growing together door this entire time. Okay, well, that's silly of me. I would have used the high school years chairs then if I had realized. There is no door from growing together like that. It's high school years. It's always been high school years. I am so silly. I'm really sorry. You're probably yelling at the screen because of that. Okay, well, that's enough embarrassment for today. I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. Oh my gosh, life update by the way, tomorrow I'm going to a tasting with the caterer for our wedding, or like a potential caterer for the wedding. So I'll let you know how that goes.